You come home wrecked and sink onto the floor. Then it happens. The animal you live with crosses the room, presses against you, and stays. No reason. They know. But do they? Really? Or are you pouring your own sadness into a creature that just wants its dinner? You've had this argument with yourself before, the warm certainty that your dog understood, and then the cold little voice that says you invented it, that you draped a human feeling over an animal that was only waiting to be fed. The real answer is stranger and far more moving than either side of that argument. Because science has actually gone looking, and what it found runs deeper than almost anyone expects. Start with the most obvious thing they'd need, telling just by looking at you that something is wrong. We assumed that was uniquely human, that reading an emotion took a mind only we possessed. But in 2016, a team led by Natalia Albuquerque decided to test it, and they built something clever. Each dog was shown two human faces side by side, the same person wearing two feelings at once, one happy, one angry. And while the dog looked, a single sound played, a voice either warm and praising or sharp and scolding. Nobody pointed, nobody rewarded a right answer, and still the dog spent longer looking at the face that matched the emotion in the voice. Sit with what that requires. To pair a furious voice with a furious face, a dog can't just recognize a shape it has seen before. It has to hold an idea of anger itself, an abstract feeling, and find that same feeling in two completely different channels, a picture and a sound. That's not a trained trick. That's not reflex. That's a mind quietly building a picture of how you feel. And dogs aren't alone in it. Show a horse a photograph of an angry human face, and its heart rate climbs, and it turns to study that face with its left eye, the side wired to the brain's threat detector. It has never been trained to do this. Nobody taught it what a human frown costs. It simply arrives already knowing that a hard human face is worth watching closely. The animals around you are reading the weather of your face all day, whether you notice or not. The tightness in your jaw, the way your mouth sits when you think no one is looking. You have a tell. To them, you are covered in tells. Recognizing sadness on your face is one thing. Here's where it gets stranger. Because the emotion doesn't stop at the animal's eyes. It sinks into their body. In 2019, a team led by Anne-Sophie Sunman measured cortisol, the chemical fingerprint of long-term stress, in dogs and in their owners. Not the spike of a single frightening moment, but stress laid down slowly over months, locked into the growing hair of both. When they lined the two up, the levels matched. An owner carrying a hard, high-stress season had a dog carrying it too. The same load written into its body over the same months. And the pull ran from human to animal, not the other way. Your dog wasn't stressing you out. You were, without a word, without meaning to, seeping into it. So your bad month isn't only something your dog watches from the outside. It may be something it is living inside its own bloodstream, right there beside you. The being that curls up against you at night might be quietly carrying a piece of your worst year in its own body. Think of what that asks of it. It can't tell anyone. It can't name the weight, can't ask why the house went quiet, can't understand that the storm will pass. It only knows that the person it loves has changed. And it stays anyway, absorbing a stress it never chose and can't put down. So it reads your face, and then it soaks up your stress. But here's the objection, and it's a fair one. Your own dog has simply learned you. Years of your habits, your schedule, your particular size. Of course it reacts. So researchers asked a harder question, one your pet's history can't explain. What would a dog do for a stranger? In a series of experiments, dogs were placed near a person they had never met, separated by a light door they could push open if they chose. Sometimes the stranger hummed a tune, calm and tuneless. Sometimes the stranger cried. And when the crying started, something shifted. The dogs pushed through that door faster, and more of them did it, hurrying to reach a weeping human they had no bond with, no history with, no reason to help. Not for a treat, not for their owner, for a stranger's tears. And here's the detail that lands hardest. The dogs that opened the door weren't the most frantic ones. They were the ones that stayed calm enough to act, as if raw distress alone freezes you. But a steadier animal can feel the pull and still move toward it, toward a person it had never seen before in its life. Picture that for a second. A creature with no bond to protect, no owner watching, no reward on the other side of the door, hearing a stranger break and choosing to go to them. We tell ourselves that kind of thing is the highest, most human part of us, crossing a room for someone we owe nothing to. And here is a dog doing it, on the far side of a door, for a person whose name it will never know. So that settles it. They feel for us? Here's where honesty matters, because real science doesn't flinch from the hard question, and neither will we. Is the dog feeling compassion the way a friend across the table would? Or has it simply learned, across thousands of years pressed close to us, to read our signals with a precision no other creature on Earth can match? We can't climb inside its head to know for certain, and anyone who tells you they can is selling something. Some of what you see may be genuine emotional contagion, your feeling literally spreading into it, the way one yawn pulls another. Some of it may be a breathtaking, learned reading of cues you don't even know you're giving off. The drop of your shoulders, the change in your scent, the flattening of your voice, the way you move a fraction slower through your own home. And here is the twist. That distinction may matter far less than it first seems. Because whether the animal beside you feels your sadness or simply reads it flawlessly, the result at your feet is exactly the same. A living thing tuned to your inner state, moving toward a pain you never said out loud. That is a darker, stranger, more humbling answer than the easy yes you wanted, and a far more remarkable one. Because think about what it actually means. The animals that share our lives may be paying closer attention to your emotions than the people around you do. A dog isn't half listening while it drafts its reply. It isn't glancing at a phone. It isn't waiting for its turn to talk or deciding whether your bad day is convenient for it. It just watches and reads and comes closer. For tens of thousands of years, we shaped these animals to live at our sides. And in doing it, we may have built the most attentive, emotional companions we will ever have. Ones who study our faces without being asked. Ones who carry our stress without being told. Ones who cross a room or a threshold toward the sound of a human coming apart and simply stay. No advice, no fixing, no looking away because your sadness is uncomfortable to sit next to. Just weight and warmth and the decision to be there, which on the worst nights is the only thing that ever actually helped. So, do animals know when you're sad? We can't be certain what they truly feel. That door stays closed. But the evidence we can measure is overwhelming, and it all points one way. They read the sadness on your face. They carry your stress in their own body. They move toward human tears, even a stranger's. You are not imagining the bond you feel with the creature beside you. It is real, and it is written into their biology as surely as it's written into yours. So the next time you're on the floor at the end of a terrible day and a warm, silent weight presses into your side and stays, don't talk yourself out of it. Something in this world noticed your pain before you said a single word, and it chose to come closer. That may be one of the truest things you will ever feel, and it never needed a single word. Nothing is as ordinary as it looks.